Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Velvet Lounge reselling session, and I am going to give you one of my favorite ways to get rid of excess, leftover, unsellable. Sometimes I just get this stuff from projects that we are invited on, simply because I know I'm going to use it in this way. So sometimes I'm not picking up things because I know I can get a great profit online. I know I can't get a great profit online, but I know that there is a profit to be made if the right resellers or if a collector just loves something and comes along. So we had a tag estate sale, as I call it. I love calling it that because why? It's more intriguing than calling it just a regular tag sale. But what I do is twice a year we take not everything that we have left over, but almost everything we have that I know is not going to resell. Or if I know that it is, let's say something big and bulky and or very delicate and really hard to ship, but it's super interesting. I see it on a project, I'll still pick it up, even though I never intended on selling it online. And what I'll do is put it into one of our 2 sales. Now, we also did this a lot with items at our auctions. However, sometimes the items were not what we would consider to be auction worthy, but they definitely were not items that we should just go give away to a thrift shop, for example. I noticed that a lot of people do that. What they do is they're like, well, I've had, and a lot of these are clothing sellers mostly. They're like, well, I've had these clothes listed for a year and a half, 2 years. I'm going to discount everything, which is smart. And then they're like, well, now I'm going to just take all of this down. And then what they'll do is take and donate it. Why don't you try to sell it first in a tag estate sale, as I call them? And then there's a bonus at the end that we'll get to. But what I did is I basically wrote out a little bit of math for you. And, just to show you how you can make money on the items that you have left over. So the total amount cost of the merchandise that we had was probably, I would say it probably was less than $30, but we came up with $32.75. Like I said, we pay very little to nothing for our resale items. I paid $10 to advertise. Whether that particular advertising worked or not, I don't know. I honestly don't think it really did. And because one of the things that we do when we have these sales is we do ask people how they heard of us, or either a lot of people will just tell you up front how they found you, which is awesome. So we know that this, like when we do this sale again in the fall, that might be an item that is 0 because we might not pay anything for advertising. We actually do advertise, and there are like 4 places that you can advertise, and it will cost you absolutely nothing. And some of them have cross sections. So if you advertise in one area, it'll allow you to pick 99 other areas. And it'll go out like a virus really on the internet, which is awesome. The only thing is, make sure you triple check your ads. Make sure all of the details that anyone needs are there, such as the time, the exact location. I even added a Google, I don't know what to call it, but like a line so that it actually, if you click on it, it will automatically give you the directions. So they didn't even have to like do that in a Google search on their own. Also, you want to tell them what your sale is called. Is it a tag sale? Is it an estate sale? Is it a tag estate sale? Whatever you want to call it, that's up to you. I know what I would call it. And also the hours that you are open and whether or not you allow early birds. I would say never, ever, ever allow early birds. We did that 1 year, several years ago, and we barely got anyone coming to our sale because everyone, I think, assumed that the early birds got all of the good stuff, because an early bird could come the day that you advertise or the day of the sale and any of the days in between. So you do want to be careful never ever to allow early birds. If you don't, it's so exciting to see all of the cars lined up and you're not even ready for them yet because you're still setting up. So when they all see each other, it also causes a big flurry in sales and less haggling because they're all trying to get the best stuff up front. So, extra bonus tip there. So then we had food and fuel. Honestly, the fuel is because we went around to a couple towns putting up signs and flyers. And then food was, hello, we had to eat something. So the total for expenses, $86.57. The total amount that we had in sales for the day was $774.50. And if you subtract the $86.57 from that, our total true profit was $687.93. And remember, this is on stuff that, most people would just donate or throw away. So that's the thing. Instead of us looking at this as stale inventory, we found a way to make $687.93 off of it. And I decided to add into this because some people might be curious. And if you're not, it's a good question that you should have had, is how many hours of work did it take to make this money? So we had 1 hour for setup, 6 hours for the sale. Our sales are always from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. And I even added in how much, it took us 1 hour to break down, put everything away, whatever it was. So that was a total of, as I noted, 8 hours. If you divide that by the $687.93, our total, the amount that we made per hour was $85.99. And I say we because it was just myself and my husband who did this. Obviously, if you have helpers, then you should, I shouldn't say have to, but you should be paying them something. So if you aren't, you're kind of cheap, unless they're your family members or something. But anyway, what you should be doing is subtracting that as well from your, as far as your expenses. That should be something that's taken into account. So some of the bonuses of this, besides the fact that we made almost $700 off of stuff that, other people would have just have resellers, I'm talking about, would have brought, to a thrift shop or donation center somewhere, is for us, because this is our business, all of this day, all this work for this day, the expenses that you saw will be written off on our taxes. Also, we donated the stuff that was truly unwanted stuff that was left over from the sale. So that leftover merchandise got donated to, we donate to big brothers, big sisters. I always talk about them. I believe in them. I had never had a big brother, big sister. I always wish I did, but I was the oldest of 5. And, sometimes people forget that the oldest might want a big brother, big sister too. So I always supported that organization. That's where we donated to, and when we donated, they actually gave us 3 donation slips. One of them is going to go to one of our business partners, and just because, we don't owe him anything or anything. And then the other 2, of course, we'll use for our own taxes. So, if you think about that with the tax write-off, and let's say that, we write off a total of, for us, let's say $200, then you're talking about $887.93 in profit for the day. So you can easily turn your rejects, your leftovers, your stale inventory into money. You just need to have a place where you keep everything nice, neat, dry, and smelling fresh. And then what you do, and we actually have what we call the cold room in our house. And it's one of the storage rooms in our house. And it's actually a room. And we just have everything